everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing an updated brow tutorial for you guys. I saw some videos on the soap brow and I was really intrigued on it, so I wanted to try and do it myself. I just watched my friend Eichel's one, so go ahead and watch hers. I'll post hers down in the description box, but it's a really nice way to get a natural, more fluffy brow. I want to say more feathery looking. So if you guys want to learn how I do my brows, then keep watching. The first thing I want to show you is the Neutrogena Bar Soap. This is a clear bar soap. So I've seen Desi's tutorial, and then I've seen a lot of other tutorials on how to do the soap brow. I just watched my friend's one, Eichel. Go watch hers. Hers one was really good. But what they do is they take a spoolie. This is a disposable one, and then the soap, and they shave off some of the soap onto the spoolie. First thing is I'm going to dip this into water and then start rubbing up against the soap just to get a little bit of the soap on the spoolie. Please excuse my voice, I'm still getting over a cold. So my brows, I have hair. The thing about my brows though is that the hair is not thick, so I have to fill them in. What you want to do is just run the brow gel through brow soap. Run this through your brows. I've seen people use the end of their brow brush from Anastasia. I just don't want to ruin the brush or the spoolie, so I'm just using disposables. You can get this at Sally's, I believe, and it's like $2 for a pack of like 100 or something. So now I'm gonna let that dry, and I'm just gonna remove some of the soap that's around the brows. For my brows, the color that I use is Ebony from Anastasia, just depending on my days and again what kind of look I'm going for. I'm gonna be mixing the pomade with the pencils. The reason why I'm using Ebony now is because my hair, it's more of a pink color, it's a little bit darker, and my roots are showing more than what my hair looked like when I had purple hair. When I had purple hair, I was doing medium brown from Anastasia. So now I'm just going to take some on the back of my hand, because you really don't need a lot when it comes to pomade, especially if you want a more natural brow. And for my brows, I always start on the end, and even when I tell clients how to use Dipbrow, I tell them to start on your end because you want to deposit the most color in places where you don't have a lot of hair. I have a lot of hair here in the front, but on the ends I'm missing tail. Like, I'm missing my tail, so I always start on the end. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in so you guys can see a little bit more. What I like to do is start structuring out my brow hairs. Got a little defined line there. As so. And then also bringing it a little bit underneath. I always do the bottom first, just to get a little bit more structure. And as you can see, I'm not pressing hard. A lot of people have a hard time with the pomade because they feel that it looks so harsh. That's not the case. It's how you apply it and how much pressure you put into applying it. So you can put medium brown on and it can still look super dark. So it's not, I don't want to say it's just the color, it's also your technique. So now I'm going to start on the top. I'm going to bring strokes down as so. This kind of lays down the frame of my brow. And I no longer do like a super pointy brow anymore, like a super thin tail. I like to make it look a little thicker. So now I'm going to switch to my pencils. These are the Benefit Goof Proof pencils. You can use whatever pencil you prefer. I prefer the Precisely My Brow one, the thin ones. This is all I have right now. So starting on the end again, depositing the color with light strokes. and I'm using the color in number 6. What's nice about this pencil is that because it's shaped like a teardrop, you have different places to apply. So you have the pointy tip, and then you have the more like crayon tip, so you can make your brows look more natural or more defined. So I'm using the sharp tip to just define my end. As so. Okay. So 6 on the end. I'm going to move to number 3 now. And number 3 is just to lightly fill in my brow. Again, not putting a lot of pressure. So now I don't put a lot of color on the front of my brow anymore. I just take my spoolie and just blend everything out. So wherever I feel like I need more dimension, I just go back in and apply more color. See how the brow's not super thin on the end anymore? And I like to focus, again, the darker color on the end. So this is what the finished brow looks like. And then this is what my bald brow looks like. As I do my left brow, I just want to show you guys that in the video, my left brow will look darker, and that's only because my lighting is on the right side of my face, so my lighting makes my right eyebrow look lighter. So yeah, I just want to give you guys a quick disclaimer and a heads up that my left brow will look a little darker. So now that we got both brows done, I'm going to take Anastasia's concealer, and this is in 3.0. And I'm taking my E.L.F brush. This is the flat, square brush looking one. I like this brush for cleaning up my brows because it just fits so nicely underneath the brow, and it makes it super precise. So, again, this brow might look a little bit lighter only because my lighting is on this side. So what I'm going to do, because Anastasia's concealer is super thick, I would only recommend this for highlighting under the brow, and maybe if you have dry skin, this would probably be good for concealing because it's so creamy. I don't like to do the top of my brow. I just feel like it's a little bit too much for an everyday thing. If I wanted to make it super sharp, then I would use an actual foundation instead of a concealer. I like using a foundation that actually matches the top of my head instead of using a lighter concealer like this one, only because it's harder to blend the lighter concealer over dark skin. Like, this skin is a little bit darker than the rest of my face, so when I do like the tops of my brows, I would rather use like a foundation. This is a blending brush that I'm going to use to blend out the concealer. I like this type of brush. I like the more dense ones, only because this kind of blends out the concealer a little bit more. So now for the rest of my brow. So usually I like to set my brows. I'm going to be using a mixture of the Benefit Gimmie Brow in number 5 and Anastasia's brow gel. So I like to do the Gimmie Brow first because it just adds a little bit more color. So now that that's dried, I'm just going to use the Anastasia clear brow gel just to hold the brows again in place. I just use this as like a security blanket. So that's it for my updated brow routine using the soap method. I like this method a little bit more. It makes the brows look a little bit more natural than super dramatic. I don't have anything on my face, so I'm gonna finish up my makeup and I'll see you guys in another video. Please comment, rate, and subscribe, and don't forget to stay beautiful.